is Suhavni Mahajan, and I am a freshman at Texas Tech University. For this project, I am researching how the weather in Lubbock affects people's moods, confidence, and clothing choices. The biggest thing that shocked me from when I moved to Houston to Lubbock in August 2025 was the difference in weather. While Houston has always been hot and humid, Lubbock is dry and has a high possibility of wind, which makes most days cooler than usual. The weather is something that most people dismiss, but has a huge impact on us physically and mentally. We experience fatigue, exhaustion, and thirst in extremely hot temperatures, and numbness, also exhaustion, and shivering in cold temperatures. It is also known in cold temperatures that people experience seasonal affective disorder, known as SAD, which is a condition that causes low mood, confidence, and lack of motivation. And with the cold weather, there's often signs or symptoms of depression. But in the heat, people often feel anxiety and stress. The weather in Lubbock fluctuates constantly, from extremely cold in the morning to scorching hot in the afternoon. For me, this has always had a big impact on how productive I am during the day, because after I finish my 2 morning classes, it can unexpectedly become extremely hot. And with the hotness, I find it very difficult to focus on my assignments and homework until I get to my dorm. And while there are many other ways that weather can affect people, the goal of this research is to examine how Lubbock weather influences people's moods, confidence, and choice of clothing. For this project, I have conducted some interviews and have posted a survey to collect a plethora of different opinions.
Usually I check the weather app like 20 minutes before I leave so I figure out what I'm gonna wear. But either way, I'm just gonna wear shorts and a t-shirt, so it doesn't really matter.
I check the weather on the weather app every day.
Yes, I always check the weather app. I feel like it's more handy in choosing what I'm gonna wear for the day. I can choose to wear a tank top if it's gonna get warmer later on, and like just a heavy coat over it for the most part when it's colder in the mornings.
I usually have like an umbrella in my car just in case it rains. I think that's the only thing I've implemented, is just keeping an umbrella in my car, and like a change of shoes. Like sometimes I'll wear like suede shoes and they usually get like really bad in like weather that it's like raining and stuff like that, so like the suede ends up going bad, so I don't want to ruin my shoes, so I usually have like an extra pair of shoes in my car.
If I notice it's gonna be cold, I'll wear like jackets or like pants, or I always overdress so I'm not cold because I'm a naturally cold person.
Well, like my hometown in Georgia, like 1 minute it could be like storming really hard, and then the next minute it's like clear skies and sunny. So I'm usually more like prepared with the weather, so I have like multiple options. Like I'll have like a jacket in my car, or like an umbrella, like I said earlier. I mean, Lubbock is like, we only have like 2 different weathers, whether it's like freezing cold or like just blazing hot, so not much to do, I guess.
None at all. It's the exact same, basically. I'm from Amarillo.
So I live in Houston, so from what I've seen so far, it's kind of been the same here. The weather's bipolar in both areas. It's always like cold in the morning and then it'll get really hot in the afternoons. The only thing I feel like is different is Lubbock is a lot more drier than Houston. Houston has a lot of humidity that Lubbock just does not have here.
Usually, like during the winter time, I don't want to get out of bed, so I usually wear like something like sweatpants and a hoodie, like because I'm not really feeling it. Like I don't actually want to like dress up for like school and stuff like that. So I mean that's the only way I would say it. If like changes the way I dress, I guess.
I feel like I dress like very homely because I'm always dressed in warm clothes because it's so windy here. That's it.
So like I said in the first question, when I kind of feel uncomfortable when it's like freezing cold in the morning and then it'll get super hot later on. I kind of try to base my clothing options based on that. Like I said, I'll wear a tank top and like I have a heavy winter coat that I'm usually fine with wearing. I stay warm wearing it. But it's like kind of a relief to be able to take it off and just have the tank top already there and prepared in the afternoons when it gets a lot warmer out here.
Yeah, cause sometimes I'm like really happy because it's like sunny because I want to go out and do stuff. But then when it's like rainy and cloudy, I just don't want to go out. I just want to stay in bed.
Not necessarily, unless it's really cold and I have to walk. But other than that, I'm fine.
Yes, for sure. I feel miserable most of the time because of how dry it is over here. I'm not used to it yet, and I think it's like made an impact on like my skin and stuff. But yeah, I would definitely say it impacts me like a negative way most of the time.
As you can see, all three had somewhat similar answers but different perspectives. The first question gathered the same response from all three people. The second question, which is limited to people who have access to a car, also gathered a bit of the same response, where person 1 had focused on bringing a change of shoes just in case it happened to rain, while person 2 focused on making sure they are dressed for the temperature. They both lead towards just being prepared in case the weather changes suddenly. For question 3, person 1 and person 3 shared almost the same response, but they had their own spin on it, because one is from Georgia and the other is from Houston, while person 2 said the exact same weather as her hometown, which is Amarillo, a place very similar to Lubbock. In question 4, the responses were also the same because they all expressed how they dress very comfy and cozy during the winter, and that it just depends on the weather and how it fluctuates. For the final question, person 1 and person 3 say they are most likely to be affected by the weather, but person 2 says that they don't really feel affected by the weather, but it just depends on how the weather changes. This conclusion shows that most people often connect their emotions or how they feel to a certain type of weather. For example, when it warms and is sunny, people often experience happiness. But when it is cold and gloomy, people often experience sadness or have the need to feel warmth. The purpose of the survey is to know whether or not the weather affects people, and some of the responses were a bit surprising to say the least. Because for the first question, most people said they feel annoyed and sad when the weather changes. For the second question, most people say they do check the weather app and overdress a little bit so that when the weather changes they can simply take off the layers. For the third question, most people say they rarely change their clothes or just go to their dorm to change or apartment. For the fourth question, most people didn't answer the question or just said that they walk to their destination. The very few that do commute said that it is very hard to know what to set the car to. Some also said that they take the bus or Uber to their desired location or destination if it is raining or too cold. For the fifth question, most people said it is dry and colder here in Lubbock than it is their hometown. Some also said that their hometown and Lubbock are similar or the same. For the sixth question, people tied with Lubbock, hometown, and both of them, showing how equal and divided the responses are. For the 7th question, most people put negative word choice as their answer, which shows how many people are affected by the weather. For the 8th question, most people lean towards yes a bit, which is in between yes and no. It shows how even the slightest change in weather can drain someone physically. For the 9th question, most said warm/sunny weather, but some people did put cold weather, which surprised me. For the 10th question, most people look forward to a sunny day. And finally, the last question, 22 people answered the weather does affect their moods, which goes to show that the weather has a big effect in the way we feel and the way our day goes. It causes a disruption in our productivity for the day, and it causes us to lose focus on the tasks we have at hand. Hello guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you were able to enjoy how the weather in Lubbock affects people's moods. Have a great day and see you next time.